Good day! Welcome to Drew's Book Reviews. It's time for a monthly wrap-up. After all, it is August 31st. So, let's talk about what I read this month. Let's talk about how I'm doing on my Goodreads challenge. And let's talk about what's coming up for the month of September. So, if you're interested, stay tuned. That's coming right up here on Drew's Book Reviews. Alright, so let's talk about how the month of August went and what I'm planning on doing for the month of September. But before we get into that, make sure that you hit that like button, comment, and subscribe. You can join me down on the Discord as well. I will have that link below. You could also join me over on Instagram. I'll have my link for my Bookstagram linked below as well. So make sure that you do that. I do try to post videos every Tuesday and Friday, and occasionally I might post another video at some point throughout the week, usually typically on a Sunday when I do my live streams, things like that. So if you like what you see here, if you want to know when I get a new video out there, make sure you hit that subscribe button and bell notification, letting you know when I post new content. All right, so let's get into it. Now, I have found that due to recent changes in my work schedule and whatnot, I haven't been reading as much daily as I normally do. But hey, you know, that's okay. Hopefully that'll start to pick up a bit come September once the kids are in school and I've got more free time during the day to read my books. Who knows, right? Let's talk a little bit about August. Overall, I'd say August was a pretty good reading month for me. I really enjoyed the books that I read in August, and you know, it's just been generally a good read. Most of the books I've read have been at least 4-star or better for me, which is just really awesome, and really enjoyed that. And along with that, we also had some exciting things happen here on the channel. For example, we talked to Roberta Bombanato. Fantastic interview, great conversation. We gave a book away in that live stream. I'll have that in the cards up above, as well as linked below so that you can go and check that out. That was a lot of fun. The main focus for our conversation kind of focused around her book Blind Sympathy and her family tree series, The Unbreakable and Unconventional Family. So congratulations to the winner of our draw for a copy of one of Roberta Bombanato's books. That was really awesome and a lot of fun. You know, I hope at some point down the road, maybe I'll get some more self-published authors on to talk about their work. Down the road, I have no idea when that's going to happen, but it'd certainly be a lot of fun. And as far as my Goodreads goal goes, I'd set a goal for myself to read 75 books this year. Now, I am a bit behind on my Goodreads challenge, but the year isn't over yet. I still got time. I'm at 42 of 75 reads for my Goodreads challenge this year. I still got time. We're only going into September. I still got 4 months to get caught up. Who knows? We'll see what happens. I may get caught up, I may not. Who knows? Still, and I don't know about anyone else, but I'm already thinking about how I'm going to set my Goodreads challenge for next year. I know there's 4 months left. And this year, lots of time yet to even think about that, but I tend to think about these things way ahead of time. So we'll kind of see how that goes. But anyway, 42 of 75 books is what I got read this year so far. And hopefully I can hit that 75 book goal by the end of the year. So wish me luck on that. Who knows? Maybe I'll make it, maybe I won't. Maybe I set my goals too high. Yeah, we'll see. No biggie if I don't make it, right? Right? Not a biggie, right? It's no biggie, right? Okay, so there you have it. There's my Goodreads challenge for the year and update on that and where I'm sitting. So let's talk about what did I read in August. Managed to get through my August to be read pile and managed to get through all the books that I set a goal for myself to read in the month of August. I usually set myself a goal of 5 books, specifically 5 books, new books or new to me books that I haven't read. So not counting rereads and things like that, which I'm also doing throughout this year, which is actually a change from last year. I haven't done rereads before, but since I got into Audible, I'm loving going back and rereading and listening and all that kind of stuff. But let's first focus on what did I read in August? What are the new books that I read in August? So of course, as always, Edgar Allan Poe in his collected works. We had some great stories this month, everything from King Pest, based in plague-ridden England, kind of a parody, to a predicament where this guy got his head stuck in a clock and the arms of the clock are slowly cutting into his flesh deeper and deeper, and he's trapped and can't get out. Poe is just crazy with the kind of things that he talks about. It's just the dark way he tells his stories, and I'm absolutely loving my read through the collected works of Edgar Allan Poe. This has been such a fun year on the Year of the Poe here on Drew's Book Reviews. I will link my review to this month's Poe stories in the description below, and I'll try to remember to link it up in the cards as well, but I'll for sure have it in the description below, so definitely check that out. We still got 4 more months of Poe stories to go, so make sure that you stay tuned on that. I've been slowly making my way through this beautiful copy of Edgar Allan Poe's collected works and poems. Yeah, and this has just been awesome. This is the first time I've actually read through all of Poe's stories. I'd known some of his stories, such as The Telltale Heart, Murder in the Rue Morgue, you know, the classics, The Raven, things like that. Like, these are classic Poe stories that we all knew. Pit and the Pendulum, another classic Poe story that we kind of already knew about, or I knew about already. But this is the first time that I've actually had the opportunity to read through a whole huge selection of Poe stories, and most of them I never heard of or read before. And so this has just been a really fun year, kind of exploring all the works of Edgar Allan Poe, and I'm really happy to continue that. And I'm so glad my wife got me this for Christmas last year, because it's just beautiful edition of Edgar Allan Poe's collected works. So definitely stay tuned for that, because you bet there's going to be more coming next month as well. Next up from my reads from this past month is Terry Pratchett's Lords and Ladies. Again, keep in mind, this is in no particular order. This is not in the order I read them necessarily, but I read Terry Pratchett's Lords and Ladies from the Discworld. Now, at the moment, I'm not really doing a dedicated review on this. This book specifically, I might do some dedicated reviews on other Discworld books, but overall, it was just a fun read. Interdimensional elves traveling into the realm of Discworld and wreaking havoc. You know, in the meantime, we have a royal wedding and all hell breaks loose. Fun, typical Terry Pratchett adventure everywhere. But hey, if you actually want me to do a dedicated review on Lords and Ladies, comment below and let me know. Because then maybe, just maybe I'll do it. But essentially the reason I'm not doing a dedicated review right now is just because I want to keep room in my schedule for the other videos and books that I really want to focus reviews on. But again, like I said, if you want me to do a full dedicated review on Lords and Ladies, comment below and let me know. Because, you know, my audience wants it, I'll give it to you. But anyway, Lords and Ladies by Terry Pratchett is the Discworld book that I read in the month of August. As usual, Terry Pratchett is hilarious, fun, and entertaining with his Discworld. As always, he's a classic. He is just amazing at what he does with Discworld. If you haven't read Discworld, read Discworld. Like Nico from Nico's Book Reviews, I am reading this in publication order. Now, I know Nico read 2 Discworld books in 1 month in an effort to catch up with me so that we're both on the same book each month. So maybe, just maybe, I'll sneak in a couple extra to get ahead of you, Nico. You've been warned. Anyway, Lords and Ladies by Terry Pratchett. One of the other books that I finished reading in the month of August, this is part of my Audible rereads that I've been doing. I've been rereading Mistborn on Audible. So The Well of Ascension is another one that I finished in the month of August. Now, I eventually do plan on doing a Mistborn specific dedicated video rather than a individual review on each and every book in the Mistborn saga. I'm not going to wait to do that until I get through all the Mistborn books again, first and second era, so it'll be a little bit. I'm usually only reading about 1 book on Audible per month, just because, you know, you get 1 credit per month, so I don't want to be spending a bunch of money on Audible. But anyway, Well of Ascension, I finished that one up in the month of August. You know, it has been so long since I've read Mistborn. So long, and there's so many things happening within this story that I had completely forgot about. And now that I know so much more about Sanderson's Cosmere and all the secret hidden links and connections between different Cosmere series, I'm picking up on so much more on my reread through Mistborn as I go through this, and that is just awesome. Loving Mistborn. Reread. It's fantastic. Well of Ascension, great entry into the Mistborn saga. So many people say Mistborn Second Era just wasn't as good as the First Era. It's been too long since I've read both for me to say one way or another, but I will say that Mistborn, overall, fantastic. Well of Ascension, I finished that up this month. So glad I did the reread on this. It is absolutely an amazing book series. Absolutely love it. So check it out. Like, if you haven't read Mistborn, you've got to read Mistborn. Next up on my reads for the month of August was The Secret Eye by Brad Hansen. This video will be dropping on Friday, so stay tuned. This is a review I did from Mr. Brad Hansen. He is a self-published author who offered to send me a copy of his book to read and review. So this book is based in World War II, focusing on the naval battles between Japan and America during World War II after the bombing of Pearl Harbor. So definitely stay tuned for my thoughts on this. This book will be released and available to purchase in early September. And I am looking forward to sharing my thoughts on The Secret Eye with you. All right, so next up on my reads for what did I read in August is going to be Yuval Noah Harari's 21 Lessons for the 21st Century. This was a really eye-opening, awesome read, covering everything from, artificial intelligence, global climate change, war, the useless class, essentially, biological and technological enhancement, integration of biology and technology. It's just awesome read all around. Yuval Noah Harari really gets into the gritty of what are the modern issues of the modern world, how do we deal with them, what do we do to overcome some of these problems. Now, I definitely didn't agree with everything Harari said, but overall I absolutely loved this book, and I've come to really enjoy Yuval Noah Harari's writing overall. He's got some great works, especially in his book Homo Deus and Sapiens. Those are two different books, but he's got some really great insights in those books as well. And Yuval Noah Harari is quickly becoming one of my favorite nonfiction writers, and I definitely look forward to seeing what he puts out next. 21 Lessons for the 21st Century really is a fantastic read, especially if you're into, an analysis of the problems of the modern world and what kind of solutions might be in store for us. So this is a really great read, and I highly recommend checking it out, especially if you like that kind of content and that type of book. Yuval Noah Harari in general has just been a fascinating read. I highly recommend Yuval Noah Harari. It really does have some fantastic stuff. Then the last book on my list for what did I read in the month of August is James S.A. Corey, Nemesis Games. This is the fifth book. I had to look at the spine there. This is the fifth book in the Expanse series. This is a sci-fi book series that I am absolutely loving. Definitely ranked among my top favorite sci-fi book series, right up there with epic series like Dune. In fact, if I were to say my favorite sci-fi series, I think I'd probably have to go Dune and then The Expanse. So overall, this is just a fantastic series. I'm absolutely loving it, and I can't wait to get to the next book in The Expanse. Just really great read. The Expanse TV show made my list of good adaptations. I've got a video on that, on the good adaptations on this channel if you want to check that out. But overall, The Expanse, I'm really excited to go on to the next book in The Expanse, because at this point, I've actually read up to the point where this TV series has left off. So when I read the next book, book 6 in The Expanse, I'll actually be getting beyond the TV series, whereas before, I kind of started watching the TV series before I started reading the books. And so as I'm reading the books, I was kind of getting caught up to the TV show and where they had gone. So in a way, I kind of had an idea of where the books were going based on what I'd seen in the TV show. But now I'm beyond that, and I'm going to be reading past what's in the TV show. So I don't know what's going to happen now. And that just makes it even more exciting to get on to book 6 of The Expanse, which I'm really looking forward to. But The Expanse overall is just fantastic series. Absolutely loving it. You can check out my review on Nemesis Games coming out later in the month of August, I believe. Or we're in August now. It'll be coming out in September. I believe the second Friday in September, I'll be posting my review on Nemesis Games, so stay tuned for that. This was a fantastic book, just like every other book in The Expanse. Love it. Check it out. If you haven't, if you're a sci-fi fan, read it. If you're not a sci-fi fan, read it. Because it's one of those series that's not exclusive. It's not a sci-fi series that's about the science fiction. It's just a science fiction setting, and it's part of what makes good sci-fi good sci-fi. So definitely check that out. And with that, that leads us into what am I currently reading? So I've got 2 books on the go right now. As far as what I am reading, of course, I am continuing with the Mistborn, with the 3rd and final book in the first era of Mistborn, The Hero of Ages by Brandon Sanderson, of course. Again, really enjoying my reread of Mistborn. I'm listening to it on Audible as I read along with the book, which I'm finding is just a really fun way to go about rereading these books. And I am really looking forward. I've got so many on my list now for rereads through Audible. You know, based on 1 per month, I've got it scheduled through until like 2027 at this point. Honestly, because there's so many book series that I want to get back to and reread, such as Dune and Sword of Truth, are some examples of that, and several others I want to get into. But in any case, I'm currently reading Hero of Ages by Brandon Sanderson, book 3 in the first Mistborn trilogy. So that is something that I'm really looking forward to continuing on, and hopefully I'll be able to move on to the next book in my projected list of what I'm going to read next month. Actually, I'm probably going to take a slight break from Mistborn after this and move on to a different series, just because there is a series that I am planning on rereading from the start again, because I've got the last 2 that I haven't gone to yet, but that's coming up on To Be Read. Any case, this is a great series. If you haven't read Mistborn, check it out. I am absolutely loving my reread of Mistborn. And the next book that I'm currently reading as of the day of filming, House of Chains by Stephen Erickson. This is the 4th book in Malazan, Book of the Fallen. I had to take a break from this series because it is so dense, so thick, and like this book alone is 1,000+ pages. And overall, I am really enjoying Malazan, but at the same time, I'm like, oh, do I want to slog through this? Because there's just so much to it. It could be tough to get through. Some parts of it could be kind of confusing as we're switching between POVs and different things happening. But overall, I have to say I am enjoying Malazan, Book of the Fallen, or Malazan, I think some people pronounce it. Anyway, I'm really enjoying this series. Overall, I have to admit, as confusing and frustrating as some of it can be to get through, I can't help but continue to read this series, but it's definitely a series that I need a break from after reading a Malazan book. So I had taken a couple of months break from Malazan, but I'm back into it this month with House of Chains, Book 4, and Malazan, Book of the Fallen. So once I'm done this, I do plan on posting a video review on this. So probably sometime later in September, you will see my video review of House of Chains by Stephen Erickson from Malazan, Book of the Fallen. So that's the plan anyway. So stay tuned for that. All right, so let's talk about what are my plans for September. What am I going to read in September? What is my September to be read? So of course, as always, we are going to be continuing on with more Edgar Allan Poe with his collected works. I'm loving the Year of the Poe here on the channel. I am loving reading his collected works and stories, and I don't know which one's going to end up being my focus for September on my video when I do the video for this, but I am really looking forward to seeing which stories really capture my attention and which ones I want to focus on. We actually have several stories coming up this month, or for September, for Edgar Allan Poe. So just based on the schedule, I'll be reading over the stories of mystification, diddling, considered as one of the exact sciences, whatever that meant in Poe's time. Pretty sure it's not the same thing it means now, but anyway. The Angel of the Old, Melanton Tauta, probably pronouncing some of these wrong. The Duc de la Omelette, sounds like the Duke of Omelette, which actually sounds kind of funny, the Duke of Omelette. Wonder if it's one of Poe's attempts at being funny. We'll find out anyway. There's the Oblong Box, Loss of Breath, a tale neither in nor out of Blackwood. If I remember correctly, I think Blackwood was that insane asylum that he had in some of his other stories, so it'll be interesting to see how that one goes. And we have The Man That Was Used Up, a tale of the late Bugaboo, and Kickapoo Campaign, and The Businessman. So we'll see how that goes with the Year of the Poe and which one of those stories really captures my interest. So, you know, definitely, as always, if you want to see that, like, comment, subscribe, see what I think of that coming up. So let's see what else I've got on my to be read pile for the month of September. So let's see what else I've got on my to be read pile for the month of September. So as I mentioned, I am going to be taking a break from Mistborn on my rereads to kind of get back into a series that I haven't read for a really long time, but I've got a couple of books from this series that I've not yet gotten to on my shelf. So I want to reread the previous books in the series before getting into the ones that I haven't read. So I'm going to be picking up on my reread for the month of September a book called The Thousand Names by Django Wexler. This is the book 1 of the Shadow Campaigns. I do remember enjoying this book, but it's been so long since I've read anything in the Shadow Campaigns that I could barely remember much about the story. I know these 1,000 names have some kind of magical significance, I think. Tells you how long it's been since I've read this series. So I'm going to be starting my reread of Django Wexler's The Shadow Campaigns before I get into some of the final books. I believe Guns of Empire and The Infernal Battalion are the last two that I haven't read. So the 1,000 Names coming up on my to be read pile for the month of September. This will be one of my rereads as I read along with Audible. So I'm looking forward to getting back into Django Wexler's The Shadow Campaigns. And as usual with this series, I'm rereading and then reading the final books I haven't gotten to yet. Those are the ones that I'm probably just going to do a whole series review video on instead of individual book reviews on. So I am looking forward to doing that and checking that out, and of course sharing my thoughts once I'm through the whole Shadow Campaigns with all of you as well. And of course we are going to be continuing on with my Discworld reading. Next up is going to be Men at Arms. This is one of the Watch books from the Discworld by Terry Pratchett. Largely considered the Watch books to be some of the best of the Discworld series. As always, I'm thoroughly enjoying my read of Discworld. I am reading in publication order as well, and I am loving every book of the Discworld. It is hilarious, fantastic writing. Terry Pratchett never disappoints with his books. He's just hilarious all around. Loving Discworld. So Men at Arms will be next up in Discworld Reads coming up in September. So I'm really looking forward to getting to Men at Arms and seeing how I'm going to enjoy that one. So the next up on my to be read list for the month of September is going to be my nonfiction read. The month is going to be The Selfish Gene. This one by Richard Dawkins. So this is long considered one of the best books on genetics ever published. It seems to be very, very popular and praised as one of the best books written on this subject. So I'm really looking forward to seeing what Richard Dawkins has to say about The Selfish Gene. Now, Dawkins is primarily known as was primarily known as an outspoken atheist, but he is more than that. He is absolutely a scientist, and a reputable one at that. He knows what he's talking about when it comes to genetics. This is his field of study. This is where his expertise lies. The Selfish Gene. I'm looking forward to reading that because I've heard so many good things about Richard Dawkins and The Selfish Gene in general. So keeping on with my tradition of one nonfiction read per month, this one is coming up in the month of September. It'll be interesting to see what he has to say about that. And of course, we are going to be continuing on with the Expanse book series with book number 6 in the Expanse, Babylon's Ashes. Like I said earlier, I'm beyond, with reading this one and getting this one going, I am beyond where the TV series has left off. Really looking forward to seeing how this unfolds. I'm looking forward to finding out what happens before season 6 comes out. And I really hope that they do continue with the Expanse TV show right through to the last book in the series, because it seems they're doing one book per season. I think that is really awesome. I am loving the Expanse and really look forward to getting into book 6 of the Expanse in September. This is going to be awesome. I just know it. I'm going to love every moment I'm reading this series. Just so good. If you haven't read The Expanse, do so. It's so totally worth it. And then the last book on my to be read pile for the month of September. This is getting back into Terry Goodkind's Sword of Truth series. This is, other than the Children of Dahara series, which I don't own, don't buy. For some reason, I'm not that interested in reading. I don't know why. I mean, I'd read it if someone bought it for me, the Children of Dahara series, but I just haven't really wanted to go out and buy it for some reason. But anyway, I digress a bit. This is getting back into the world of Terry Goodkind's Sword of Truth with the Nikki Chronicles. This is the last book in the Nikki Chronicles, Heart of Black Ice. So unfortunately, Terry Goodkind has passed away, so I don't expect any more books in the Sword of Truth world to come out. But this would be the last one published in the Nikki Chronicles. I think it's actually the last Sword of Truth book that has been published in general. But yeah, Heart of Black Ice by Terry Goodkind. I will eventually not only read this, but I'll probably get around to doing a reread of it once I get around to doing the Sword of Truth reread, which I will do eventually. It is on my list, but there are so many books I want to reread. But anyway, Heart of Black Ice by Terry Goodkind. This is on my September TBR, and I really look forward to getting to it. And hopefully in September I will be able to pick up and get more reading time in, because that's just the way it goes sometimes. And we'll see how it goes. Really look forward to getting to that. I absolutely love Terry Goodkind's Sword of Truth world. So there you have it. There is my reading for August. There is my to be read for September. I do try to stick to 5 books Poe plus 4 others each month for this year. And you know, hopefully I can get through them all, and I'm sure I will. I think come September, as the kids get into school, I'm probably going to have a little bit more time to actually focus on reading than I have had over the summer. So hopefully I'll be able to get more reading done. Here's hoping. We'll see how it goes. But anyway, there you have it. There is my August wrap up. There's my September preview. And that is how things have been going. And I look forward to continuing to share my thoughts on all these wonderful stories with you, because as always, I just love talking about books. I love talking about what I'm reading, and I just love it all around. That's why I have this channel, so that I could share all this awesome stuff with you guys. So thank you so much for watching. Thank you for subscribing. Don't forget to like, comment, and if you're not subscribed, then you want to see my thoughts on these books coming up, as well as other types of content I put out, definitely hit that subscribe button and hit that bell notification so you know when I post new content. And thank you so much for watching. Like, comment, and subscribe. And until next time, we'll see you later. And until next time, keep on reading. Bye.